Hi friends, Miss Kaylee here, and I am so thrilled that you chose to be with me this morning. If you can't tell by the beautiful Christmas tree behind me, it is the most wonderful time of the year. It is the time where we get to celebrate Jesus's birth, right? That's why we celebrate Christmas. And today we get to learn all about what kind of happened, what led up to Jesus's birth. And actually, the story of Jesus' birth starts way before he was ever even born. Because God used prophets. He used the prophet Isaiah and then the prophet Micah. Remember, prophets are messengers for God. God sends them a message and they tell people about it. Well, these two prophets prophesied all about Jesus's birth and what that would look like, what people could expect, and that the Savior would come. The Savior is coming. And the cool thing as we read the story today is that we see that it comes true. Everything they prophesied years and years before Jesus was born came true. And our big picture question this month is, why was Jesus born? I feel like that's a good question to start with. Why was Jesus born in the first place? Well, Jesus was born to rescue us from our sin. He was born to spread the good news to people, right? But ultimately to die on the cross for our sin and to resurrect 3 days later. So we are made new through Jesus. It's a wonderful story. And that's why the birth of Jesus, that's why we celebrate it during Christmas. And I can't wait for you to learn so much more about this story throughout this month. Enjoy.
Hey guys, I'm Megan.
And I am so excited! And I'm Jessie.
Tell our friends why you're so excited, Jessie.
My new little sister is coming! My mom and dad are at the hospital right now.
I'm excited too.
I can't wait. I'm going to be a big brother. Well, wait. I already am a big brother. What? I'm gonna be one again!
The wait is almost over.
My sister is almost here!
While we wait, let me tell you today's Bible story. God's people were waiting too. Isaiah told God's people about a king who is coming. This king is a perfect king who will rule forever. Listen to this story. Long ago, before Jesus was born, God gave messages to some men. These men were prophets. They told God's messages to people. The messages were about things that God was going to do. The prophets wrote down God's messages in the Bible. Two of the prophets were named Isaiah and Micah. They wrote down messages from God. God said that one day Jesus would come. Isaiah the prophet lived hundreds of years before Jesus was born on earth. Isaiah wrote down God's message about Jesus. Isaiah wrote that God would choose a woman to be Jesus' mother. Jesus' mother would not be married yet. Isaiah also said that when Jesus was born, one of Jesus' names would be Emmanuel. Emmanuel means God with us. Later, Isaiah talked about Jesus again, and he wrote these words in the Bible. Isaiah said, "A child will be born for us, a son will be given to us, and the government will be on his shoulders." That meant that Jesus was coming, and he would be a king. Isaiah also said, "He will be named Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Eternal Father, Prince of Peace." Even more names for Jesus. All of Jesus' names tell us who Jesus is and what great things he would do. Jesus was going to come to earth to help people and keep them safe. He would be a loving king, and he would bring peace to the whole world. Isaiah had a third message about Jesus. This time, Isaiah talked about Jesus' family. Isaiah wrote these words in the Bible too. Isaiah said that Jesus would be part of Jesse's family. Jesse was King David's father. Then Isaiah said that God would be with Jesus, and Jesus would be wise and strong. He would do the right thing and be fair. Finally, Micah the prophet told a message about Jesus. These words are in the Bible too. Micah said that Jesus was going to be born in a town called Bethlehem. He said that Jesus was going to be a ruler. Hundreds of years later, everything that God told Isaiah and Micah came true. God had a great plan to rescue people from sin. God's plan was not a secret plan. The prophets told people about God's plan. They said God would send a Messiah, Jesus. Jesus would be born into the world as a baby. Jesus would live a perfect life and die on the cross to rescue people from sin.
Long before Jesus was born, some of God's prophets told people that Jesus would come. The prophets' words are written in the Old Testament. Two of the men who told about Jesus' birth were the prophet Isaiah and the prophet Micah. Isaiah the prophet lived hundreds of years before Jesus was born on earth. The first message about Jesus was about who Jesus' mother would be and who Jesus would be. Isaiah said, "The Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will conceive, have a son, and name him Emmanuel." Isaiah said that God would choose a woman who was not yet married, and she would be Jesus' mother. He said too that one of Jesus' names would be Emmanuel, which means God with us. Sometime later, Isaiah talked about Jesus again. He said, "A child will be born for us, a son will be given to us, and the government will be on his shoulders. He will be named Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Eternal Father, Prince of Peace." Even more names for Jesus. All these names tell us who Jesus is and the great things he would do. Jesus was coming to earth to help people and protect people. Jesus would be a king who cares about his people, and he would bring peace to the whole world. Isaiah's third message was about Jesus' family and his power. Isaiah said that Jesus would be part of Jesse's family. Jesse was King David's father. Isaiah said that God's Spirit would be with Jesus, and Jesus would be wise and strong. Jesus would do the right thing, and he would be a fair ruler. Finally, the prophet Micah told about where Jesus would be born. Micah said that Jesus would be born in a town called Bethlehem. Micah also said that Jesus would be ruler over Israel. Hundreds of years later, everything the prophets Isaiah and Micah said about Jesus came true. God's plan to save people from sin and death was not a secret plan. God used the prophets to give hope to his people. They said God would send a Messiah, born into the world as a baby, to live the perfect life people fail to live and die the guilty death we deserve.